Okay, it's actually going to be the Poppy top, and
Oh, Nico support.
Okay. Nico support from On, while we'll have the brand jungle for Tarzan, Poppy top for Breed.
BLG get in, but Weibo just need to disengage from this one.
Yeah, Tarzan's gonna grab that first grub, smites down the second, actually 2 grubs over to Waybo. Third one is secured by BLG.
In that 1v1, and it's not really because of individual outplays, it's because of the lane assignments, because of where they're moving him on the map. This guy into tank. And that can be tough for Jax, really until a couple items into the game, especially when you are at a disadvantage like this.
Guarantee 4, maybe just even the 5, uncontested.
And that's what I think the trade on the tower was. It was, look, incredible to see his journey through. I kind of thought, oh, hang on.
Hold on, we got a bit of a problem over here in the mid lane. Xiaohu trying to flash away and stay alive. Does barely get out there, trying to use the Fate Seal to escape the Skarner, but the Impale was too powerful, so Flash also had to be committed. Weibo keeps their mid laner standing, but the top lane tier 1 turret can't tell the same tale as Elk is going to buy. Might try to challenge for the smite, but it doesn't look like there's any chance. Not with Breed hanging around. Easy secure.
Just kind of buying time for Knight as well to scale up. He's now set off to his side lane to keep himself safe, knowing that Weibo have to go for these resets. So as long as you're able to keep
board, and Weibo are just looking to continue to farm more turrets instead of champions. It's been an objective.
Wave cleared, and it looks like Weibo going to back away here.
Bin down again on bot side. This is what I'm talking about. They're just going to keep trading. We'll see if Breathe can do anything about it, but Bin likely to be able to just walk this one out and is going to be in a good position. That gold lead is going away that Breathe had. He's only 200 gold up now after the tier 2 gold all goes into Bin pockets. Elk's going to take the tier 1 mid as well. So the gold very...
Whenever I see him, the QSS picked up for Xiaohu, does not want to get locked up, does not want to get punished. Nice damage from Elk! He just shot this one going. Breathe has made his way into the fight. The Dragon's down to half HP. Breathe jumps in, tries to tackle On, but it ain't going to do a whole lot just yet. Ben's still looking for the angle. Nice ejection onto the Skarner. They're trying to control the Drake. Breathe still in the front line. Drake down about 1,000. It's going to be slain by Xiaohu, as now Weibo continue their push forward. BLG falling back as the hostile takeover doesn't do a whole lot. You've got Bin in the back line, but he ain't going to be able to do anything in a 1v3. Weibo take him out, and they want even more. A shutdown over the light as the Callista claims a second. Shun, Elk, and On all trying to escape as Tarzan's looking to burn down the AD carry. Elk will continue whittling away. And the Leandries takes his soul. Weibo, 4-4-0.
Weibo needed something desperately.
Never able to find a way in here, never able to even use the ulti. The Nico got nothing. Tarzan has been playing so far back, he hasn't really been able to get to him. There we go.
Flash for the counter-strike. They're going in after Xiaohu. The Impale doesn't find the target. Xiaohu's getting away, but Bin looks to keep on chasing. The second counter-strike will not find the stun, but Xiaohu has already used the Soul Unbound. He has to reset his position. He's going right back to where he started. I don't know if you even needed the pop.
Tier 2 top and the reset from Breeze coming in for potential to come into this, but Weibo, they've already snuck away the Dragon. BLG just couldn't get in.
Nicely done from Waybo, now Fate sealed. Xiaohu wanted to go in on Elk. Instead he gets slammed back into the ground with a Pop Blossom, and now the Impale's gonna drag him back a little bit further, but no! Yone escaped. Xiaohu does not gonna have to try to jump away there with the counter strike as Waybo just hard engages onto Bin. The zone used to try to keep himself alive, and the flash back away to escape the follow-up damage. Waybo's attempt on Bin, it takes all their manpower, so they can't finish the Baron.
But they're also taking a lot of poke, and Bin can TP in. Xiaohu trying to make a play to keep them in check, but Shun
could be in a little bit of trouble now, has to use the Ishtal Impact, slam Breathe into the wall and continue making his own escape. Now Tarzan's got to be careful on continuing to try to push him back now as well. Bin has made his way back into the fight, stuns up Xiaohu, the counter strike is there, Fate Seal to try to get away, but no! Elk snipes him down! Bin's gonna keep on looking for even more as Shun goes in for a nice impale, now On's gonna be killed off as well. Crisp drops On, and the rest of BLG all still alive. Everybody from Waybo that's still standing is in retreat with Xiaohu and Chris down. It's a 5-man BLG play for the Baron.
It's a long back and forth fight, but BLG do take it. They're gonna TP back in though. Breathe wants to make some magic happen.
Breathe is gonna try to pull off some kind of a miracle here. So much control over the Baron pit for BLG and Waybo.
Lifting, or this could be rough.
All right, tier 2 turret under pressure. BLG looking to build as much with this Baron as they can, but Xiaohu is on the flank. Breathe looking for maybe an engage here, but he won't find it. Waybo still trying to find their way in, as On's gonna be your target. Goes into the pop blossom for the counter engage. Xiaohu's low, but he snaps back after grabbing the first kill. Now Breathe has to try to escape, but the hostile takeover over the wall is stopping BLG's advance. Waybo is not...
Well, you sacrifice yourself, but we crack the base. It's a handshake deal that BLG will take every single time.
And the 80 carries mine, nothing of value is lost.
Exactly.
Just the support.
Yeah. As a support player, I know that too well.
Waybo forced back, but honestly still pretty high on health. Knight and Bin DPSing the trade. Chris takes a massive chunk of damage, and Waybo have to be so careful about this now. Knight flaps back over the wall as the Cloud Drake is secured by Elk and BLG. Waybo continuing to try to get themselves back away from an advancing BLG. Xiaohu engages. He goes after On. He finds plenty of damage, but the kill isn't going to happen just yet. Now with the stasis coming out from On, he survives for long enough for the two-man impale, but there's no further dividends being paid. Bin now in the stasis trying to get away as Waybo continue pushing towards the BLG top laner. He goes back in for the counter-strike, but it does not matter. Light takes him down, and Waybo's already found 2 kills. It'll be traded back finally for 1 as Knight kills Breathe.
The fight from BLG was so separated. On gets caught, but Bin dives in the second he does. They just don't have the damage to try and finish.
Not being that huge X factor, it's night and day. Now, oh, a nice pick coming out from BLG. Huge kill onto Tarzan as Knight's now got to try to escape. Xiaohu snaps back, but is it going to be enough? The bailout might just get him out of danger. Elk's going to be killed off. Xiaohu lives, and immediately Waybo are fighting right back. Chris drop. Knight kills him, but Bin has to go golden to barely stay alive. Knight needs a little bit more damage. Pop Blossom to lock up the enemy top laner. A double kill of a Knight, and Smolder has scale.
We've had enough. We need to fight. It's not going to get better.
Okay, we're going to Baron yet again. Knight and Elk with the poke for the side of BLG, but Xiaohu forcing the flash over the wall from On, who has to try to regroup with the rest of the team. He's down to 40% HP. He's not looking too good. Waybo still with health bars topped off, but Bin is pushing in the bottom lane the entire time. Waybo, if nothing else, has to get the teleport out of the Jax. Baron down to half HP. BLG still poking. Shun goes in, finds a slam into the wall, and now the damage is going to focus on Breathe and Crisp. On still staying alive defensively as Tarzan secures the Baron. BLG is trying to keep everybody close by. A nice impale over the wall comes out from Shun to lock up Light. Now they're going to be able to find a kill on Xiaohu. Now they're going to finish another one there on Light. Waybo may have claimed the Baron, but what about the game? Tarzan's going to try to keep running as Bin has broken the base in the bottom lane by the time Breathe and Crisp can respond.
Waybo barely get back in time to stop Breathe there.
Yeah, barely in time. And now Dragon Soul's going to be spawning here in 20. Xiaohu's dead for 40. Light's dead for 40. They just want to try to end the game right here, right now.
BLG know that Xiaohu and Light, so much of the damage on Waybo, dead for the next 35 seconds. BLG making their push. That mid lane inhibitor still vulnerable from the tier 3 turret that was taken earlier. BLG is going to knock that one over, and the first super minion marches down the bottom lane. Breathe, trying to get past them to cut the minion wave and save the game. Just buy enough time. Breathe, still walking away, but the mid lane wave is crashing the Nexus turrets. Now Tarzan's under pressure as Ben zones him off. BLG trying to force the end of the game. 5 seconds left on the mid and 80 carry of Waybo, but it will not matter. BLG take game 1.
What a Batman. But it's also screaming Merc Treads on the other side. We are going to get Knight playing as Syndra, so they're pretty AP heavy. A lot of people, I think associate Syndra with players like Showmaker. To me, it's always been a Knight champ. He's screaming out Merc Treads, and Ben could be really difficult to deal with when he does get those early Merc Treads. But this is a full-on brawl. It's going to be a 10-player fight.
Yeah, Xiaohu has to dash back over the wall. Waybo still in the enemy jungle, but the big chicken is already going to be controlled. Light trying to get away, but the crash down comes out from On! And BLG's already got first blood! 2019. The last at play-ins, just 2020. But now, a potential dive down here in the bottom lane could be turned around as Ben, On, and Elk want some damage of their own. They put some hurt onto the enemy jungler, but it's going to be On who's mostly in trouble. First kill goes over to On, taking out Breathe, but a 1-for-1 trade already as Tarzan...
How is the extended lane going to go against Ben? Especially, as I said, when he gets Merc Tread. Shun, though, looking for Xiaohu.
Yeah, Xiaohu slammed into the wall. Remember, he has no flash to try to get away. And
BLG get at this Ziggs. They move around so well. Gonna have to fight Waybo here, though.
Waybo coming up to challenge for the grubs. BLG trying to get themselves away, flashing out of the range of the handshake. Waybo securing grub number 1 as Xiaohu's ready to join the fight. El taking a ton of damage. Colin coming over the wall as Xiaohu wants to dash after him. Last auto attack ain't gonna find the kill as now On's gonna try to get away and breathe. Barely tries to kite it out. Shun needs a little bit more damage to try to take him down, and a lot of damage on Bin's gonna be the first kill as Breathe survives. Xiaohu kills Elk 2-0 for Waybo in the grub battle.
Great fight up, set up from Weibo. As they move in, they turn on towards Elk. They're able to get over the wall with a ton of pressure. Now Knight alone under this tower, but Weibo collapsing.
Shun tries to turn around back onto Tarzan, but he used the E-Shaw impact on the large Krug instead. Tarzan, with his teammates behind him, feels confident moving further forward. Knight goes for the scat of the week. Yes, he hits Xiaohu, but he's not close enough to pose any real further damage threat.
Yeah, it is really, really rough. And look at the waves. Every wave, it feels like he's just pushing towards them on the minimap. We can see that got pushed in by Breathe. Bot lane wave is already shoved up. Top lane wave is already shoved up. It's a full court press, it feels like, for Weibo right now. They are really ramping up the pressure after that one fight.
Honestly, they needed it so badly. Things were looking awful for this team that really wanted to get the gears turning early, but the grub fight turns it all around. They got that first grub. The other two still alive in the river right now.
That fight for Weibo game.
I mean, he played the fight very, very well, and you have to be able to be confident like that to look for these.
Wants to use the satchel to get away, but the spears are already inside his chest. Beautifully done in the bottom lane, but answered back.
But as you say, Bin, at least getting that turnaround in the mid lane on.
Okay, On could be in some trouble here. Another nice handshake. Some spears in the rel means more damage even coming out, but the TP is available for Elk to try to reinforce his support if he needs to. Crash down for the extra shield, but it ain't gonna matter. Light! They are putting a bullseye on his back. Elk will try to escape, but the lockdown of the Maokai, the damage of the Elise, it's an easy kill for Waybo. Yup, Breathes your target. Maokai can be tricky to dive, though, if you don't have the coordination in place. Twisted advance already. Try to get himself back into a good spot, but it won't work. Impale from Shun seals Breathe's fate. They put the money on Bin, and with 4 men here in the bottom lane, BLG are going to bulldoze this turret. But at the same time, Tarzan on the other side will secure all 6 grubs for Weibo.
Yeah, they're going to get all the grubs, and they already took down that first tower on the top side. It's a 1.8k gold lead here for the Kalista. Bin going to collect some gold back on that bottom side, creates an advantage for himself. And it's really just going to be a tale of 2 lanes. Who can get more done with the advantages that their team have given them? There's still so much confidence in work for us. You know, bringing out a Maokai top, bringing out an Elise. It's picks that make sense within the context of the game, within what they want to get done in the game. And I just love to see that constant evolution of the meta, and I'm hopeful that it continues to work.
Yeah, I already talked about how the Elise at Worlds specifically is 5 years ago for main stage, but if you're looking at Maokai top in Tier 1 regions, this is the first time all year long that has actually been played in that role, and Breathe and Weibo are doing pretty good with it. Tier 2 turret gonna fall there in the bottom lane. It's a 1,500 gold lead for Weibo. It's a 2,000 personal gold lead for Light on this Kalista, and it's easy for now.
So I agree with BLG. They have no business contesting this fight. And the question just becomes,
when he gets towards the second items, and you start to stick Elk with Bin in the side lane, because if you have a 2-man threat, show how strong he can be, both last year and now at this tournament on things like the Ezreal as well.
Ooh, nice connect on the Eastall impact coming out from Shun, immediately into the unleashed power.
You're also going up against Knight, who is the kingmaker in the LPL right now, and it's plays like this working with Shun that set BLG up for success on side. They get the tier 2
permanent power for the rest of the game. So you have to have so much confidence that you can execute in that next one that you guaranteed will win that fourth. Working towards the Seekers as that 3rd item. But we're going to need to see that Magic Pen come through for Knight and Elk.
Down to half HP. TP's going to come in from Bin. Weibo committed into the pit. Baron down to 3,000 HP. Engage comes in from On with a Magnet Storm. The Baron is secured by Tarzan, but now they got to try to get away from BLG's collapse. Skarner's ulti finds one. Light to the rampage and Bin is down, but Light to the picture now too. Shun tries to escape, but he cannot survive. Tarzan barely getting away over the backside of the Baron pit as Breathe stands at a 1v3, but he stands not for long. It's BLG. They lost the Baron, but they're going to end up winning in kills. Breathe still getting away. You gotta be kidding me. He's still getting away. Galloway fails. Breathe finally falls. TP though. But a TP's coming in. Bin, as it looks like Waybo might just look to mop him up. Xiaohu ready to go in, guns blazing. On, finds Shattering Strike into the skin of the week. Storm Surge execution from Elk.
I saw the moment too. I think if he flashes early and doesn't let the rel actually get to him,
Oh,
then there's
nice
an angle.
slam from Shun, immediately following it up there with the Impale, as On slams back through with the Magnet Storm, has to try to get away before life's gonna be saved by the bailout. They pick off the enemy AD carry, but BLG's gonna be careful now. Bin versus Breathe off to the side. Low health bars on BLG's front line. On dies first, Shun barely stays alive. Breathe's about to drop it, it's a 2-for-1 for BLG. Max range scatter the week, and Knight.
Every time, On has had brilliant engages, and all of BLG has been there with the follow-up.
Oh, Shun and Knight taking a lot of damage here from this spamming of the abilities, the Syndra and the Ziggs together. It's a lot of poke, it's a lot of damage. Breathe in the Drake pit. Infinitely tanky here on this Maokai. Happy to just absorb these blows for a little bit. The bouncing bombs again, connecting onto Crisp. The vulnerable enemy targets in the back line. Crisp down to 20% HP. Bin jumps over the wall here with a counter strike. Look at a lock up. Breathe, beat him down. He flashes over the wall, but On's got the kill with the Ignite. Hostile takeover, low value. Shun goes in for the engage with the Impale, but he ain't gonna find the mark that he's looking for.
Nice.
On dies, light out Blaze. He's taken out two. Waybo trying to continue the fight as Knight kills the enemy jungler. There's no junglers left. Light is struck down by Knight Syndra, and Crisp will be the last man to fall. And ace for BLG.
Light is snuffed by Knight. BLG win the fight, and they're gonna take the game.
It's the full team teleport party over into the mid lane. 31 minutes back and forth. BLG with Elk and Bin ready to just demolish these turrets. Knight flawless on his Syndra. 7, 0, and 8 to take BLG.
Rumble is one of those pairings that we've seen be really popular with the LPL and LCK teams. We were talking about this morning when we were talking about draft, and they do have that triple melee top side here, plus a melee support, so it is going to be the Maokai getting moved around. It is going to be getting...
AoE is the thing that nullifies the normally very powerful shroud that Akali has.
Look at Shun though, he's setting up for a dive on towards Breathe immediately on the bottom lane.
All right, Breathe gonna get stunned up here for the counter strike. Bin wants to get it done. First blood for Shun. It's a one.
Go into that bot lane, so it's a bit of a timing window here for Waybo.
Yeah, Tarzan stepping up with Xiaohu, trying to contest here for the grub. Second grub goes over to Shun. Knight's got to be a little bit careful, goes into the smoke, slam into the wall with the Ishtal impact. Shun looking to lock up Xiaohu. As Tarzan gets a nice stun there back onto the enemy jungler, but Bin has made his way to the fight first. All three grubs gonna be secured now by BLG. Fate Sealed forces out a couple of flashes. Crisp now in the middle of everybody. Gotta be careful trying to get back over the wall, but Bin's already gonna grab the kill on him. Knight behind him, trying to keep everybody corralled. Perfect
Like himself, but he wants a bit more here.
We saw this in the previous game. It's Bin and Shun working together to punish Xiaohu when Knight is no longer able to maintain his position.
And now it's gonna try and catch Crisp.
All right, let's see if Shun can get this done. Bin coming around with the counter strike from the side. Crisp, only level 5, still pretty squishy here with the Maokai. They're chopping down trees with lampposts. Bin picking up another one as Shun escorts his top laner out. They'll rejoin with Elkin on, but Xiaohu locks up the Skarner and guarantees that Weibo can grab themselves their second kill of the game.
They do get that one kill back.
Hey, instead, we're just gonna play on towards bot side, get the dragon stacking starting, and also look then for that extra gold on towards the Akali.
Yeah, we'll see how much he's going to be able to get, because after they grab the dragon, Shun could even move down towards bot side if they do think that there is some sort of an angle, but looks like...
Snapshot, the whole gold lead for BLG is on a Skarner, and that's not really where you want to be the only thing to try to walk up to the turret, but it ain't gonna get there in time. Breathe overheated. They immediately engage the Alistar ultimate, and BLG just brought enough fire.
And there is still options for things like Hextech and Mountain Soul that I think could be incredibly strong in this game.
Herald summoned up mid lane by Waybo as they'll try to force down this tier 1 turret. The first turret's already going to be killed up there in the top side. 2v1. Breathe wanted to try to stop Knight, and on the Rumble with the Flame Spitter needs more damage, but he won't find any of it.
For BLG.
Yeah, and he already has that first item completed, has that Storm Surge. working towards potentially something like a proto belt or whatever.
Hexgate knocks Tarzan back over the wall. Never mind, I should have never doubted. Beautiful impale from Shun, pulls back too. But the counterattack from Xiao, who is there with the Fate Seal. Massive damage on everybody on BLG, but Xiao, who's the first and only to die. Breathe comes in with the equalizer. Knight's gonna try to get away. BLG is burning, and Waybo is turning this whole fight around. Shun is about to drop. It looked good at the start, but
It makes you think that BLG could win the fight, but there's so many low health bars on BLG. Breathe just arrives and cooks them up, and Shun playing with fire a little bit here. Has to be somewhat respectful. You lose 2 towers off the back of that loss. Really tag teaming to get so much done, and even Tarzan, 2K on the Sejuani.
And Tarzan barely surviving with about 50 health there as well. Xiaohu trying to use the Fate Seal to get away. Waybo are going to be able to secure this, but BLG now stepping up a little bit late. Hex Tech Drake secured by Tarzan and Waybo, but now the Skarner ulti coming back over. Equalizer summoned up over the top. Tarzan is low, but he ain't gonna be killed off here just yet, still staying alive a little bit longer. Tarzan burns down, and Shun's taking the kill. Light burst it down! Beautiful execution coming in from Knight as Chris has to try to escape. It's 3 dead on Waybo. It's about to be 4. The Dragon fight favored them last time, but this time around it is their death sentence.
It was a disaster for Crisp. We'll catch it in the replay. He goes to twisted advance on towards Elk as he dies, but Elk...
Knight finds Light, and even with the fight starting so well for Light, ending so much chip damage.
Waybo starts becoming this single issue threat onto Light. Then that's how this comp can come alive. And we're at that point of the game right now as Xiaohu's got to try to get away here with a Fate Sealed. Bin forcing out the flash from the Waybo mid laner. The counter-strike threatening to potentially be a death blow as Waybo are scrambling to try to defend against a Baroned up BLG.
I just love the pressure they're putting on Xiaohu. They know that Yone's ultimate, his flash is so powerful in that 5v5, it's getting taxed constantly.
And now BLG get to set up a mid because they've already blown.
On engages with a massive 3-man knockup, but there ain't any follow-up to go behind it. On's just gonna be the sacrificial Alistar as everything gets thrown towards resisting the assault. BLG, yes, they'll claim the tier 1 turret, but it stops there.
I think that Sejuani ult from Tarzan may have just saved it because On was hoping we could take the tower, then follow up, but nobody could auto, and now Xiaohu.
Xiaohu trying to get away from Bin's Jax. He's
Knight's
already
coming.
used the Soul Unbound. Knight's ready and waiting. The storm strikes, but now the rest of Waybo's coming around to try to pick off Elk and Shun. A nice 2-man impale comes through, and into the backline goes Knight again. He's already found Light. It's lights out for Waybo. It is an ace for BLG.
What is a ghost to a king? As he sits there, he will gobble up Weibo, happy as he can be, as BLG look to make this a 3-0.
They are barreling straight down mid lane with Shun and Bin. I don't know if they'll be able to end it right here. It doesn't look like they can do the whole thing. Waybo is still standing, but their legs are broken.
And look at the gold lead building up from this Baron power play. They're about to take the tier 2 bot as well. This is gonna be a 5,000 gold swing here with the Red Bull Baron power play. That is massive. 5,400 gold.
Who brings it to the main stage and is happy to show his stuff.
Crisp in some trouble here. A shot goes in for the 3-man Skarner ulti. No follow-up
Here's
just
Knight.
yet from BLG. Knight coming around from the side. Crisp is about to be killed off here with the very start. Fate Sealed, but it is not enough. The only Fate Sealed today is that of Weibo Gaming. Knight jumps back over the wall as Tarzan and Light scramble to survive. Light kites it out a little bit further, but finally drops. The best team in the LPL shows their worth yet again. They will crush 2023's Demons, and they will earn a ticket to the World Finals in London. BLG is going all the way.
I think the interview's ready, so Laura's standing by with Bin.
BLG sont vos premiers finalistes des Worlds 2024 et évidemment, il fallait qu'on parle à Gigabin après cette incroyable performance de lui et de toute l'équipe. 3 games, 3 fois Jax, on sait que c'est son champion de cœur, mais peut-être qu'il y avait une autre raison derrière ça. You played Jax 3 times. I know how much you love the champion, but talk me through the reasoning behind picking this champion for the past 3 games and also the confidence you had in your ability to beat the top laner.
首先，恭喜你们获得比赛的胜利。那么说到今天的对局，不得不提到的就是你的3把贾克斯。在这场比武当中，你的贾克斯发挥非常的出色。能不能和我们分享一下，为什么会在今天连续3把选下贾克斯？我们都知道你非常的热爱这个英雄，同时来和我们分享一下，为什么拿到这个英雄能够让你非常的自信，在今天的上路大放光彩呢？
我觉得不管什么时候，我的贾克斯只要能选出来就能赢比赛吧，不管对手是谁。如果他们不把我的贾克斯，那我这个英雄这次选就会赢。
It feels like whenever and whatever. If I just pick my jacks, I always hold that confident my jacks can get the victory no matter what my teammates are, no matter what's going to happen on the game. If I just pick my jacks, victory belongs to us.
Peu importe la méta, peu importe la composition, mon état de confiance en Jax fait que quoi qu'il arrive, ce sera une victoire pour moi et le champion. Et il avait cette confiance aujourd'hui en arrivant. On a vu le trailer pour cette demi-finale où il disait contre Waybo, ça sera un 9-0 aujourd'hui. BLG n'était pas forcément dans le meilleur état de forme au début des Worlds, malgré le fait que c'était justement des contestants pour aller jusqu'à la fin et être les champions du monde. Donc peut-être que l'équipe a évolué jusqu'ici. You came into today in the trailer saying that you were going to go 9-0 against Weibo. I know you're one of the favorites to win the tournament, but what gave you the ability to think that it was going to be so one-sided against them today?
其实，在今天的宣传片当中，BLG的队员们有提到说，对于今天的比赛，可能在比赛结束之后，你们和微博的比分会是9-0。所以说，也非常好奇，其实你们也毫无疑问是这次世界赛的夺冠热门之一。也想问一下，是什么给了你们这样的自信？是什么样的实力能够让你们觉得今天会是如此一边倒的对局呢？
我觉得微博也是很强的队伍吧，然后其实打他们我们是非常有自信的，因为我们今年赢了他们1年，但是主要是想弥补去年半决赛的遗憾吧，我们那个时候输给了他们，没有进决赛，所以今年我们赢他们最大的就是为了弥补去年的遗憾，进入决赛拿到冠军。
First things first, I must say WBG is a very strong team, but still we got enough confidence facing against WBG because we got the victory against those teams like for the whole year. But I think we left some regret last year in the semifinals. WBG stopped our journey, so we didn't manage to qualify to the grand final. So this year, what we need to do is we really need to hold this confidence that we're going to recover the regrets, we're going to qualify to the grand final, we're going to be the champion.
Il y avait quelques regrets après l'an dernier et évidemment beaucoup de respect pour Waybo qu'ils ont affronté pendant toute l'année, qu'ils ont vaincu pendant toute l'année et c'est aussi ça qui leur a donné la confiance aujourd'hui dans la capacité de les battre. Et Bin, ça sera la 2e fois qu'il va participer à une finale de championnat du monde. La première fois c'était en 2020 avec Suning. À quel point il a évolué. This is going to be the 2nd time you play World Final. The first time was in 2020 with Suning. How much of a different player are you this time, Bin?
其实这也是冰选手将第2次踏上世界赛总决赛的舞台当中。第1次是20年你在苏宁的时候，也想问一下，可能这么多年过去了，这一次再一次踏上总决赛的舞台，你觉得你会成为怎样一个不太一样的选手？你觉得这4年当中你有哪些变化呢？
我觉得20年的时候，那个时候我还没有现在的这么强吧，没有现在这么成熟。然后那个时候，我记得我对面的中南叫小梅卡，因为 SYS9是 LPL 的冠军，然后他说了一句重塑 LCK 荣光，我被义不容辞。所以我觉得今天我也想说这句话，因为我们前2年都是没有拿到冠军的，我也想在这次决赛重铸 LPL 荣光。
Maybe 4 years ago, back in 2020, I'm not that strong, I'm not that mature. And I still remember our opponent in the grand final was Showmaker. And back then in S8 and S9, LPL all got the World Championship title, and Showmaker had this statement, I'm going to hold the responsibility for LCK to have this glory again. So I have the similar feeling because LPL didn't manage to get the final trophy for the 2 consecutive years before. So this time, I'm going to be the one to hold this responsibility to represent LPL for that trophy.
Il a beaucoup gagné en maturité, il a beaucoup évolué en tant que joueur, évidemment, que ce soit son playstyle ou d'autres détails. Et surtout, il se rappelle que la dernière fois qu'il a participé en finale de championnat du monde, c'était contre Showmaker, c'était contre Damwon. Et Damwon avait parlé, justement, Showmaker avait parlé de la responsabilité qu'il avait pour la LCK de gagner cette victoire. Et aujourd'hui, il a l'impression d'avoir un sentiment similaire. Il veut avoir la responsabilité d'apporter un nouveau trophée pour la LPL. Plus qu'une étape le sépare de la coupe qui se tient derrière nous. Quel est son but final, justement, dans le but d'accéder à cette victoire de champion du monde? One step, one best of 5 holds you from hoisting this cup, Bin. You're going to play next week. What is your resolution for final?
那其实你们现在离你们最终的目标，离你们最后的总冠军的奖杯只有一步之遥。再赢下一个 BO5，你就可以捧起你身后的这座总冠军的奖杯。所以说，也想问一下，对于1周以后的决赛，你有怎样的决心？你有怎样的想法呢？
我个人的话，还是更想去在决赛对阵 T1 的，因为他们在世界赛总是能赢 LPL 队伍，但是我觉得。我遇到T1 BO5的胜率是100%，所以这次我想在决赛赢下他们，拿到冠军。
I must say, maybe I like to face against T1 in the grand final this year, because we know T1 really have a super high win rate against all the LPL teams as some kind of the LPL killer. But for me, personally speaking, I got 100% win rate against T1 in the international events. So I really would like to maybe face against T1 and hold the glory and get the victory.
Forcément, une envie de vaincre les champions du monde. Et même si T1, même si Faker ont généralement beaucoup de facilité à gagner contre la LPL, ils gagnent tous leurs match-ups contre la LPL. Bin a une revanche à prendre et justement a envie de continuer de gagner contre T1. Donc forcément, c'est un adversaire qu'il a envie de vaincre la semaine prochaine. On a bien vu au début de la journée l'amour qu'il vous a donné, la veste qu'il a lancée dans le public. Donc forcément, est-ce que Bin a un message pour vous pour conclure cette interview? We saw the love that the fans gave you last week. We saw the love that you gave the fans this week, tossing your jacket into the crowd. Do you have a message for the Western fans, Bin?
那其实无论是上周的比赛，我们能感觉到所有的观众们对你们的热情，而在今天的比赛，你也以同样的热情回馈给了所有的观众朋友们。你甚至在出场的时候，直接把你的外套扔给观众，扔给所有山呼海啸的人群。所以想问一下。用英语吧，有没有什么话想要对所有的观众朋友们说的？
我先想说，因为这里的观众太热情了，所以我就赛前我想把我的外套脱给他们，然后我说 I'm happy, thank you, I love you.
He also said, because of fans, you guys are really cheering for us, and I can feel the passion, I can feel the enthusiasm from all the fans. So that's why I just decided to throw my jacket to all of you.
Il a ressenti l'amour que vous lui avez donné, il a ressenti la passion que vous aviez pour BLG aujourd'hui, donc c'était sa façon de vous dire merci à vous tous de jeter cette veste. Pas besoin de traduire le message en anglais, il vous aime beaucoup et j'imagine qu'il a hâte de vous voir la semaine prochaine. Une fois de plus pour Bin et BLG, s'il vous plaît, Paris.